Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Glad you could be here today. I wanted to give you guys an update on where I'm currently at on my reading list. I'm currently working through 3 books now, and I'll talk about those. So we'll get to that in just a few minutes. But make sure that if you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you do so and share this with your friends. That way they get to see my content too. As I mentioned before, once I hit 100 subscribers, I will be running a book giveaway contest. So yeah, keep that in mind and make sure you share this. Let's get right to the books that I'm currently reading and see where I'm at. So the first book is Perdido Street Station by China Miéville. And I'm really enjoying this book. It's taking me a little bit longer to get into, only because the prose is written in such a way that you really have to follow it closely. I have to read every word and think on it, and I find myself going back a couple of times sometimes to read a sentence again, so it's taking a little bit longer. But it's not a fault with the book. The prose is just really brilliant and intriguing, and it really draws you into the story. But you just kind of have to really get deep into it and bite into it with your teeth. So it follows 2 main characters. One is Isaac. He's a human scientist. At least I think he's human. From what I can gather from the story, he's human. And then his girlfriend is a humanoid insect creature who lives in the city of New Crobuzon, and they have an interspecial relationship, which is really on the hush-hush because they're not supposed to, it's kind of forbidden. And so it's been a really interesting read. He is a scientist who dabbles, in fact he calls himself that, he calls himself a dabbler who, he has interests in all different realms of science, but he doesn't really specialize in any single one. And he happens upon this bird creature who has tasked him with helping him fly again, because there was something that he did among his people that caused him to have his wings clipped. And so he can't fly anymore, but he wants to fly. He misses it, and so he seeks out Isaac to help him with that and figure out a way to get him airborne again. But it's not just as simple as that. There's more going on beneath the surface of the story. I really feel it. So I'll let you know more as I get more into the book, and if I happen to finish it before my next video, you'll get a book review out of it. So anyway, yeah, that's this book. His girlfriend is also hired by an unknown benefactor. She's an artist, and she meets her benefactor, and he tells her what the job's going to be. She accepts, and then all of a sudden it just becomes really weird, and that particular part of the story just ends. And that's as far as I got with her. Pretty interesting. It is definitely different and unique, and I like that. So, Perdido Street Station. I am also reading Book 2 in the Dark Tower series by Stephen King. It is called The Drawing of the Three, and I wasn't quite sure what that meant at first either, but as I got into the beginnings of the story, the 3 is a destiny card, or kind of like a tarot card that he draws, and the picture on it kind of bespeaks his destiny and what's going to happen to him. It's very different from the first book, which is The Gunslinger. Worlds different, in fact. In The Gunslinger, it mainly takes place in an alternate Wild West setting, almost similar to the Old West setting in our world, but quite different as well. And he is seeking out, following the Man in Black to the Dark Tower and trying to find his destiny. But in this book, it gets to where he is starting to travel different worlds and timelines, and so it's definitely gotten more interesting. And he happens to wake up on a beach, not quite knowing what happened to him. He's being attacked by these weird crab-like creatures, and he sees a door just standing in mid-air, standing up on the beach. No buildings or anything, just this random door. And he enters the door, and it puts him in our world probably around the mid-80s, I'm guessing. That's what it seems like anyway. And he gets into the head of this one guy who's a drug smuggler, and they start sharing experiences, and it's just so different from the first book. It's a good different, but it's a very jarring difference. So I'm liking what I'm reading so far. I'm about 100 and so pages in, so definitely not one to put down. So I will let you know more as I get further into the book, and as with the first one, if I finish it, there will be a book review coming soon. So, also, if you would like me to wait until I finish the Dark Tower series to do a full review, let me know in the comments, because I am planning to read the entire series this year. So, let me know in the comments if you would prefer me to wait until I'm all done with that to give an actual review, or at least a more in-depth review than I would for just a single book. So, yeah, I'd appreciate your feedback on that. The final book is Summer Night by Jim Butcher. This is the fourth book in the Dresden Files series, following Harry Blackstone Copperfield Dresden, a wizard in modern-day Chicago. And he always seems to get himself into the weirdest troubles. I mean, this guy's fought demons, he's fought werewolves up to this point, vampires, you name it. He's had to deal with all this sorts of crap. And the book starts out, he's having to go before the White Council, which is like the High Council of Wizards. And they're trying to decide what to do with him because he's rather unconventional. He follows his gut, he follows his heart, and he doesn't always play by the rules. So he's called before the White Council to account for what happened in a previous book, which I won't spoil because this is pretty much a direct continuation from the previous book, Book 3. So I don't want to spoil that, but he's called to account for what happened in the previous book. And in the meantime, he's been hired by a high-ranking fairy to solve a murder case that directly affects the Fey realm. And he, as he always gets himself into these complicated situations, he's made promises to this fairy that are physically and magically binding on him, and it just you find yourself saying, Harry, what are you doing? How do you get yourself into these situations? But it's a quick read. I'm about 150 pages in. It's got the same dry wit that I've always expected from Harry Dresden, and from Jim Butcher, who is the author of these books. Really, really well written. It's an easy read. It's funny. It's written from Harry's perspective. So it's a first-person perspective, and he's telling you all about what's going on in his day. And he's a hard-boiled detective on a case that just happens to be magically inclined. So I absolutely love these books, and Summer Night is no different. I'll let you know what I think as I go on. I don't know if I'm going to finish the entire book series this year, though. I only decided to pick up this one for now. I may get to others. So if you want me to do a full review of this book, I can, or if you want me to hold off until I've actually finished the series, again, let me know. And I will be looking in the comments for your thoughts and opinions. And that concludes the books that I'm currently reading right now. Let me know your thoughts. Have you read these books? What did you think of them? Have you not read them? Have you been on the fence with picking up some of these? There may be quite a few of you that have never heard of Perdido Street Station. Chino Miéville is a fairly well-written author, but he's not real well known. So it stands to reason that you may not have even heard of his book. But if you have and you've read it, let me know what you thought in the comments. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend you check it out. If you enjoy beautiful prose, a unique story, a unique world, and unique characters, man, this book definitely has it. So I will look forward to talking with you guys again in the near future. My next video will be next Friday. As you know, I release videos for this channel every Friday. So make sure to share this with your friends and do all the other stuff that I always say. You know the drill. And please make sure you read more books. I will talk to you next time. Have a great one, guys. Bye.